And it's finally working! Yay! Um, Happy New Year. And I hope everybody's tech is working like mine is, because it was, I'm not sure what was going on with Facebook, but this is like my fifth try to get this going today. Anyways, um, I hope you all had a good end of year. I know last time I live streamed, I said I'd taken a break. I did, um, which was great. It was nice to take a break, relax at the end of the year. What I didn't anticipate though was I got sick at the beginning of this year. So coming out of that, and apparently my body just is like, hey, you need to slow down a little bit before we ramp up for some amazing, exciting things coming in January and February. Um, I like time to just sit and relax a little bit. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Like, I've had a lot of good conversations over the last few weeks with different people. One was in particular with my brother-in-law, which I want to talk about today. But really, our attitude, right, it determines what our results are going to be. How we show up. Everybody wants to set the beginning of year goals like in January, right? Be like, hey, 2021 is going to look amazing. And so we start the year, and we start, I think, every year with a lot of ambition and a lot of drive, because it's like, it's a new beginning, it's all these things. Like, we hype up the beginning of the year to mean so many new things. But if we only have that kind of like, oh, this year's going to be awesome attitude at the beginning of the year, we're not going to make it all 12 months. We're going to slow down as time goes on. So I want to take today to kind of reframe a little bit about kind of how our attitude, not only showing up about money, but showing up in our business when we look at numbers, and we look at our end goals, kind of how that really determines what's going to happen for us over the next little while. When I say next little while, I don't mean over this year, but what's going to happen in the next 6 weeks? What's going to happen in the next 90 days for us? Because there's a lot that can happen within our businesses and our lives in just 6 weeks. Right? There's a lot that can happen in just 90 days. But we want to sit down and plan and be like, oh, here's my 1 year goal, here's my 5 year goal. Those are important goals to have, because it gives us some milestones of how we can work towards them. However, if we set that bar out there too far, what happens is we have a great attitude at the beginning of the year. We're like, yes, it's all going to happen. But then when November rolls around, we look back on the year and we're like, we're nowhere close to our goal. And we start having it come apart. We freak out. Successful people do plan out long term, but they make more concise plans in the interim. So I want you to start looking at your attitude overall. Like, what's your attitude as you come into 2021? Are we one of like, oh, 2020 wasn't so nice to us, so, there's a little bit of trepidation. For some people, there's going to be. For other people, they rocked it in 2020, they're going to roll into this year being like, yeah, we're unstoppable. But check your attitude, check your disposition of where you're at today. Because here's what I know. I'm going to talk about all the different attitudes of money. Because money does have an attitude. If we understand how we can respond to that relationship, then we can produce more of it. And at the end of the day, money isn't all we're after. But what it does is it funds the things that we want to do. And that's what I'm really interested in. What is it in 2021 that you want your business to fund for you? Take a moment, think about it, and have that as one of your goals. If it's to finally travel this year, right? As vaccines and things come out, travel's probably going to start being a thing towards the end of the year. Some people are already traveling a lot. Like, it depends on what your risk factor is. COVID's a real thing. So look at that. If it's like, hey, I want to, fund some nonprofit stuff. I want to donate some more money this year. At the end of last year, that was one thing Debbie really wanted to do. We had a great year financially within our business. So in December, we were able to take some money out of our account, and we were able to donate it to quite a few different charities. I mean, I think overall we sent a little bit of what we could to a bunch of different places, but there were like either 9 or 10 places that we were able to help support. It was a big thing, and this year we're going to ramp that up, because part of what we want to do is give back. This year I have some other initiatives I want to do, right, to give back to communities. But that can't happen unless I have money coming in to sustain my life. And we can't give everything away for free. We've got to have paying clients. So what's your attitude coming into 2021? How do you feel about what this new year brings? The new possibilities, the things that could happen. And then I'm going to encourage everybody, like everybody else always does, right? Set a goal. What's your goals for the first quarter? What's your goals for January? Because if we don't set these, if we don't come in with an attitude of being like, hey, cool, I want to this year I want to make 350,000 in my business. It's cool. Set a goal, and then what's your attitude to showing up? Are you going to show up for yourself every single day? Are you going to show up and listen to your body and be like, hey, when I got to take a break, I'm going to take a break? What do you want to do different this year? Because while last year was amazing for a lot of people and really crappy for other people, this is a brand new year. It's a brand new time to not reinvent yourself, but reinvent how you feel about those actions you want to take. It's important because, like going back real quick to the conversation I mentioned earlier about with my brother-in-law, right? We're talking, he's like, here's what I want to do. I want to do these things, but, I'm running out of money. So, I'm not sure, like, I'm kind of in this catch-22. And it's important, right, as we look at it and be like, there's an inevitability, like if you only have so much cash, that it's going to run out if you do nothing. I can guarantee that for anybody I talk to. The thing is what do you want to do today that will help move the needle forward so that cash doesn't run out or you produce more? Think about that. Because we look at our businesses the same way. Oh, I only have so many clients. I need to go get more clients. Or what happens if this one, stops paying me? Or I know this contract's running out. So what am I doing? If we lean into the fear of what those end dates mean for us, we're not going to do anything. And they'll show up. They'll go away. We'll not have the money to continue on to that big goal that we want, or to that thing we want to fund this year. And then we're going to feel bad because we're like, well, see, I can't do it. Or if we take that and be like, here's my deadline, now I got to work towards that so I can produce something new, find more clients, generate more revenue, whatever that is, that's not the case. See, money messes with our brains a lot. We look at it as like a finite resource, which it's not. There's plenty of money out there. If this last year, if you look at any of the financials about what's happened over this last year, as far as major corporations in the United States and how much they've made, it's amazing. And if you haven't, I would suggest go looking it up. Because in a year in a pandemic where everybody's like, oh, it's going to be so hard, there's a lot of job loss, all these other things, there are some industries in the United States that made more money last year than any other year previously. So you can't tell me that because life happened that there's no money. Life happens, and our attitude towards what's happening in life is what determines our outcome. People challenge me on this all the time. I have proof that life can be real shitty and you can still come out ahead. This happened to Debbie and I multiple times, over and over. When everything happened in 2008 for her, we could just roll up the sidewalk and be like, well, life sucks. This happened to us now. Like, that sucks to be us. And while there are moments of that, that's not what determined our outcome. Here we are 10, 12 years later, and life looks very different. When everybody, person after person, experts kept saying that, guess what? Life would never be different for us. This is all we got. And while we subscribe to that for a mere moment, we let it go. We changed our attitude. We changed the way we thought on the inside, the way we approach stuff. And as we did that, fast forward to now, we're both working full-time in our businesses, making more money than I ever made in corporate. So you can't tell me that if you just roll over with whatever life gives you, that's good enough. You determine what you want. Change your attitude, your result will change. Or you can keep doing the same stuff you have been doing and get the same results and then be angry and grumpy and bitter about it. It's up to you. But if you want something different in 2021, it's time to change the way you approach life. So that's my charge for you this year. It's time to change the way we look at things. Start challenging the status quo of what's been the status quo for us. Because if you aren't realizing that big dream you have, if you're not funding that big goal you have, then it's time to change what you've been doing, because what you've been doing hasn't been working. So it's time for change. 2021 is all about change. Last year is like, it forced it upon us. We rolled with what happened. So this year, we're in the driver's seat. Take control. And as you do that, you'll start to see more resources, more peace, more harmony, more joy in your life. Or you can just let life kind of run you over, and you can be mean, not mean, but you can be bitter and angry about it. That's the thing too. I choose into joy and love and the things that bring me happiness. So join me this year in generating a lot of joy and happiness, and let's rock it. Let's hit those financial goals. Let's hit those big goals that don't have to do with finances, but still need to be funded. And let's rock it. It's time to take one step forward, and today's that day. So post in the comments below. I want to hear, what is your big goal to happen this year? What's really going to happen? Because if you have those, you can start looking at that. If you don't, I'm going to encourage you to find something and then post below. So until next week, we'll see you later. Bye.